Welcome to Big Trav's Patio Orchard, and I am Big Trav. This is the first video on my channel. Hopefully it's like a historic day. I've been working on concepts for this video for a long time. I did post some shorts just to kind of get a flavor for how everything worked. But this is the first long form video on this channel. So if you're watching, it is a historic moment. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. I really want this channel to be a community of whether you beginners, intermediates, and veterans in the gardening game. You can all kind of learn from each other. I've been growing citrus for the last probably 6 years, and I really love it, particularly in containers. I've never actually grown it in ground. I'm in the process of transitioning from Houston to the East Coast due to changes in jobs. I'm really excited about the opportunity and most excited about what we're gonna do on this channel. So without further ado, we'll get things started off with how I grow citrus in containers. I'm gonna walk you through it in this video on how you do it. Super easy process. You'll be glad you stayed. All right, y'all, these are the ingredients I use for my citrus soil mix. First up is Reptibark. You can get it from Petco, PetSmart, basically just wood chips. Second is perlite. If you can get the larger perlite chunks, works even better, but any perlite will do. Next up is garden lime. Citrus trees like being in a pH range of between 5.5 and 6.5. This will help get us there. Next is Biotone, one of my favorite garden products of all time. Helps to reduce or eliminate transplant shock. Next is peat moss. Like I said, citrus likes to be in a sort of a acidic pH range. This will help with that and keep a little moisture on the roots as well. Cactus and palm citrus mix, or what I call citrus potting soil. If you live in a hot climate, you definitely need to have a little bit more weight on your soil. Definitely helps with that. Probably my favorite fertilizer of all time is Black Cow. It's just basically composted manure. Doesn't stink, anything like that, but gives continuous food for your trees. All right, y'all, I got a little decorative glass that I got from, I think it was like Ross or something like that, for $5. This is just for demonstration purposes only. All right, first, what I like to do is start off with about 5 parts of the cactus or citrus mix potting soil. Like I said, you can get it from either Lowe's or Home Depot, any big box store. And like I said, you want to add about 5 parts of each of that, or for me, it's just 5 handfuls. Just to give a little bit more weight to your potting soil so that they don't dry out too quickly. Next, about 1 handful or 1 part of peat moss. Like I said, it's going to help to keep that pH, your pH within the 5.5 and 6.5, and also helps the tree from to hold on to just a little bit of moisture. And then I know a lot of folks will only add like 1 part of compost. I actually have always added a little bit more than that. So I'll usually do between 3 to 5 parts of compost, just adding to it. I just find that the trees like it. Next up is perlite. I'll usually add between 3 to 5 parts of perlite. I like my soil to be well drained, and my trees have always responded well to it. So like I said, if you could get the larger chunks, you don't have to use as much, but for the smaller, it works for me. Then I always add 1 part of garden lime, and with the 1 part of garden lime, it's going to add a little bit of acidity, or helps to keep the acidity within range between that 5.5 and 6.5. Now we're just going to kind of put everything together, start mixing it together. Like I said, citrus doesn't like to sit in standing water or wet feet, and so you definitely want to make sure that the soil is well drained, and this will definitely get you there. So we're gonna put the my little decorative jar to the side, and I picked up this pot from, I think it was Lowe's, for probably like $10 or $12. The things you want to do with any citrus pot, like I said, is to make sure that the soil is well drained, but you also want to make sure that there's no standing water in the pot. So the first thing I always do is to drill a lot of holes at the bottom. Not a set number of holes that you drill, but just enough to make sure that there's no standing water. And then I always start at the bottom with the Repta bark, or like I said, you could use pine. Sometimes you can catch at a big box store, there'll be like the little pine chips, works just as well. But I like to start with the Repta bark at the bottom. And then because we're putting everything together, we're gonna take, like I said, it was 5 parts of the Repta bark, and then we're gonna add another 5 parts of the soil, just kind of mixing everything together. I'm telling you, this soil is gonna be amazing. All right, and we're gonna put everything together, get it mixed up really well, kind of like a birthday cake. Look at that. Now that's what I call black gold. It's nice and loose. Look at it. Look how it falls through your hands. That's how you know you got good soil. All right, now we want to make a little bit of room for the star of the show. We got our Meyer lemon tree. You can usually pick them up like at your local nursery, big box store. This one, I think it was like $23 at either Lowe's or Home Depot, something like that. Like I said, before you add any plant to its new environment, I always use the Biotone. It is one of my favorite products of all time. Just helps to eliminate any transplant shock. That's when the leaves start to fall off shortly after you put it in its new container. One of the things that I always do and I recommend is never just yanking the tree out of the container. Sometimes the trees can get root bound and be really stuck in there, so you want to just kind of gently get it out of the container, tickle the roots a little bit. Sometimes the trees might be sitting in those containers for like a year before you buy them, so by tickling the roots, just to kind of break them up just a little bit, it's going to help it to kind of get a fast start in its new environment. The key with the Biotone is you just want to make sure that the roots are touching the Biotone that you sprinkled into the pot, and that's going to help it transition to its new home. Now, one of the other things that I like to do is I got a little bit of soil left here, and so I'll sprinkle a little Biotone just around the edges where I know the roots are going to eventually flare out. And as you can see, I got a little bit of leftover soil, so I'm going to spread that around just to fill in any air pockets around the side of the root ball and the container itself. All right, y'all, I keep my eggshells. I used to see my grandfather, he had a garden growing up. I pretty much always had a garden, so he would always just throw his coffee grinds and his eggshells out into the garden. And I swear I would go out and it'd be like a year later and the eggshells are still there. So I like to speed up the process just a little bit. I just bought this little coffee grinder off of Amazon. I think it was like $9 during Prime days. But I like to take the eggshells and crush them up, get them into a fine powder, and that way, like I said, it's gonna accelerate the process and make it easier for the tree to take up the nutrients. Man, I love that sound. And what the thing that eggshells will do is it gives, of course, some calcium to the trees, and I've been told that it can even help with pepper plants and tomato plants. It's the equivalent of like a bone meal with the nutrients and minerals that you get. So I'll usually just, like I said, just as I get the eggshells, grind them up and then add them to the soil. Trees tend to love it. Give it a little love tap, and there you go. Smooth as can be. So I'll just usually mix that into the soil. I like to use the eggshells, or if you prefer bone meal, you can get bone meal at the store. I like the free version, and so I'll usually just top dress this and just add it to the top of the soil. And so as I'm watering over time, then it'll kind of seep down and work its way down into the soil, and it's easily taking up the nutrients for the plant. One of the other things that I would do for a top dress is just a balanced fertilizer. You can get like this is ironite. I think it's like either 10-10-10 or 20-20-20. But you can pretty much any balanced fertilizer do. Just mix it into the top of the soil, and it'll break down over time. And the last thing I'll do, because I'm in a hot summer, is to add some mulch, and I just use the repta bark as mulch and finish off the tree. And isn't she beautiful, man? And we done, y'all. If you've come to this part of the video, that means you watch my first video on YouTube. Appreciate you, appreciate all the love. Be sure to check in, hit that notification bell, like if you like it, comment. If there's certain things you want to know that I didn't cover in this video, please hit me up in the comments. I do respond as quickly as I can, but definitely, again, appreciate all the love. See you on the next video. One love.